What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be reviewing 5 of the most popular nasal strips on the market. I've used them all, tested them while working out and sleeping, and I bought all of them with my own money, so there's absolutely no bias here when it comes to my reviews. Now, before we jump into the review, I just want to briefly touch on why I started using nasal strips in the first place, because it's a pretty recent thing. I think I started using them about a year ago. I've always known about them. I've always seen athletes wear them. I remember seeing NFL players growing up, but it wasn't until I saw Alex Hormozi wearing them in basically every reel he puts out that I decided to go out, buy some, and try them for myself. And once I put it on, I immediately got it. It felt like I was breathing out of my nose for the first time. And that's really what a nasal strip does. It's a strip that goes on your nose and basically pulls your, what would you call this? Pulls the nostrils open. It doesn't sound like it would do much, but it's a lot. It's so good that I won't sleep or really work out without them now. Every night before I go to bed, I put one on. Most days when I'm training, I put them on. And sometimes even when I'm just sitting around the house working, I like to have them on. Nasal strips are amazing. Now let's get to the review. Now to walk you through the nasal strip journey that I went on, we're going to review these in the order that I tried them and purchased them. So the first one, and probably the most common one, is the Breathe Right. You can get these at pretty much any drugstore, any grocery store. I see them all the time, but I actually have 2 here. One is the small and medium, and the other is the large strip. The biggest difference between these, as the small, medium, and large name would imply, is that there's a difference in size. Now, personally, I don't even think the small and medium is that small. It still fits my nose. I actually kind of prefer them, even though the larges fit just right. But the Breathe Rights are an amazing nasal strip. I like them because they hold decently well, even when you start to get sweaty, but they have a lot of strength, I guess you could say, in terms of pulling your nostrils open. And that's really one of the big things that I'm looking for in a nasal strip. When I put it on, I want the nasal strip to want to stay flat because it pulls your nose open and that allows you to breathe better. And that's really the whole point of a nasal strip. So these are really good. They want to stay open. They're very strong nasal strips. The only downside here, I would say, is the price. I think these were like 12 or 13 bucks for 30 at Publix. So if you're using them frequently, that cost can add up over time. Another good thing about the Breathe Rights, if you care about appearances, is that they have these tan ones, which I have here, which kind of look like a Band-Aid, but they also have some other ones that are clear. So if you're worried about looking goofy while you're wearing this, they have clear options. And I wore those in my original reel where I talked about nasal strips, and honestly, until you get close to somebody, you can't even really tell they're wearing one. So yeah, overall, the Breathe Right is a great nasal strip. It's the first one I ever bought. I still go back to it. I really like it. The only thing really to consider here is the size difference. I'll have some little footage to show what they look like side by side, but really, I don't think I have a particularly big nose, and they both fit really well for me. Do I have a big nose? Yeah, that was a long pause. If you're a guy, either one will work. If you're a girl, go with the small medium. Keep it easy. Next up on the list, and the second nasal strip I ever tried, is the Better Breathe nasal strip. Now, the primary reason I bought these was to save money, because I bought 300 of these for less than 30 bucks. It came out to about $27. So if you're looking for the economical solution, Better Breathe is a great option. The downside here is that they're not the best nasal strips. As I mentioned with the Breathe Right, they're very sturdy, they're stiff, they want to stay flat and pull your nostrils open. These tend to be a little bit more like paper or a Band-Aid. Like, yeah, it has adhesive, it sticks to your nose, but it's not pulling your nostrils open the way that the Breathe Rights are. With that said, they still do help. They're still going to make you breathe easier out of your nose. They're going to help with that breathing. They're just not as stiff, so it's just not as good. Otherwise, I don't have that many negative things to say about it. It's size-wise probably closest to the Breathe Right large, but yeah, nothing in terms of like the adhesive being weak or anything like that. It stays on my nose. I've worn it while training. If you get really sweaty, honestly, they're all going to fall off. Other than just not being the stiffest nasal strip, it's not the worst in the world, and it's great in terms of money because you can buy them in bulk, as you can see. I've done myself. So after those 2 purchases, I decided to branch out a little bit more. I bought these Clear Passage medium nasal strips on Amazon. They're about $15 for a box of 50, so a little bit of a better deal than the Breathe Rights. Now, the interesting thing here is that they have the most unique design of all of them. Most of these are just, a strip with some adhesive. The stiffness is dependent on the brand, but this one actually has these little slits on the side. So when you put it on your nose, there's a little flap that kind of opens up. I guess it's supposed to help open up your nostril even more. I can't say it's the best. I don't think it's a noticeable effect, but it's an interesting design, and it's not a design that gets in the way. So it's not like it's annoying. It's not like it ruins a nasal strip in any way. It's just a noticeable difference between the bunch. So other than the weird design, I don't really have any issues with it. I like it better than the cheapest Better Breathes, but I wouldn't go so far as to say it's better than the Breathe Rights just because the weird design. But overall, a great nasal strip, just not my go-to. And finally, last but not least, we have the Instaclears. These are extra strength. These also came at about $15 for 50 strips. So again, better deal than the Breathe Rights. The most noticeable difference here is how big these things are. These are huge nasal strips, and if you're going for discreet, this is the worst option. But if you're going for maximum nostril opening, these are the best. Hands down, the best nasal strip I've tried so far. The only real downside here is the size. They're pretty big, both in terms of how wide they are and also how tall they are. So it needs a lot of surface area on your nose to stay on. So if you have a smaller nose or you're a lady out there, this might not be the best fit. But if they do fit your nose, to me, these are hands down the best nasal strip out there. I love these. They're amazing. But if you're at all concerned about wearing these in public, you're gonna be noticed, people are going to see them, you're gonna get attention. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the 5 nasal strips that I have. If I had to rank them in order, I would probably put Instaclear first, Breathe Rights second and third, Clear Passage as the true third, and then Breathe Right as fourth. I only group these together because they're basically the same thing. If you want any of these products, I'll have links in the description to the exact ones that I bought, especially these Breathe Rights, because if you want to get a deal on 300 of them, you got to go to Amazon and get those. Now, quick pro tips out there, if you guys are new to nasal strips, when you decide to put them on for the first time, make sure you wash your face. Get any oils on your nose off, wash your face, get it nice and clean, and then put the nasal strip on, because it'll stick. If you have oils on your face, it's going to slide off immediately. You just wasted a nasal strip. Don't do that. The other thing, when you decide to take them off slowly. Pretend you're like a 5-year-old removing a Band-Aid for the first time. Don't just grab this thing, rip it off like I did. You're going to tear skin off. It doesn't feel good. And then you need to let your skin breathe, and you can't wear nasal strips for the next few days. So be slow, remove them slowly. If you guys like this video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And if there's any other video reviews you would like me to do, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know about it. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.